Hi everyone, it's Milky. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making a video on a topic that I get asked about a lot, and that is where to buy Japanese clothes, or J-fashion in general. If I made this about all J-fashion, this would be a super long video, so I'm just going to stick to Japanese brands for this. If you want to know where to buy J-fashion that's not from Japanese brands, do let me know. But yeah, this used to be a post on my Patreon, but then I got that taken down, so now you can't actually view that post. So I thought I would make a video version of it since that's sort of easier, and that way you can come back to this for reference if you're ever wondering about it in the future. So I guess I'll just dive right in. So the first one is probably the most obvious, and that's directly from the J-fashion brand shops. Basically like all shops like Liz Lisa, Encre Rouge, Swankiss, whatever it is, they have their own online shops. The downside of this is that a lot of them don't ship internationally, however there are a ton of shopping services out there that you can use. DJapan is my personal favorite, but you can also use things like Bai and Zen Market, that's what it's called, etc. Usually things will be more expensive if you buy from there, but if there's a particular release that you're interested in, it's best to buy it probably new from the shop. Usually places can have pretty good sales, like the Liz Lisa website often has really good sales, as does Encre Rouge. You will need to wait, of course, a while for the sale to pop up, but it can still be nice, and then you'll be getting the items brand new. Actually, the Liz Lisa website does have an international shop which ships worldwide, so that's nice, but yeah, shipping can sometimes be a bit expensive depending on what you're getting. The place where I probably buy my J-fashion the most is from Japanese secondhand sites like Frill or Mercari. These are sort of like Depop in that it's individual sellers listing all the items. You can sometimes find things for super duper cheap. Like with regular Japanese brand shops, you will need a shopping service in order to shop from here. You can't buy directly because, again, individual sellers, they won't really be shipping out of Japan. Something to keep in mind is that, like with all secondhand sites, it might be a good idea to check the seller's rating to make sure that they're good and reputable, and to use Google Translate on the listing to make sure that you know if the item has any flaws or anything like that. I've never had any bad experiences buying things secondhand. Things are usually in the condition that the seller says that they are, so I haven't had any troubles with that ever, but it is something good to keep in mind. You can usually find things for really cheap if you're looking on Mercari or Frill, etc. And it's also a great way to find older pieces, like, I don't know, for example, older Liz Lisa releases. If you search things with keywords like, I don't know, Liz Lisa ballet they have this one print that's like ballet shoes and roses and stuff and it's cute, or Liz Lisa Madoka, or whatever it is. You can usually find things that way, and that's a good way to find older collection pieces that you might not be able to find immediately on the brand website. Another thing to keep in mind, though, is that you can't really contact the sellers if you have any questions about the items, so if you're a bit of a picky shopper, this might not be the best option for you. My probably favorite place to buy J-fashion from is Closet Child, which is a store that I think originally sold like Lolita and Gothic fashion. However, in the last few years they've branched out to sell like Liz Lisa, Encre Rouge, Swankiss, etc., those kinds of brands, and they have them for super duper cheap usually. Like, they sometimes have Liz Lisa dresses for like $10 or even lower, and so that's great. They also sometimes have more interesting brands like Rosemary Soir, etc., still for a pretty good discount. The great thing about Closet Child is that they do ship worldwide. This is why I love them so much, because you don't need to use a shopping service. They're really easy to use. The website isn't Japanese, but if you're on Google Chrome, you can right-click on the page and then click Translate, and it'll give you all the details that you want. Closet Child is great with giving the condition of the items. They're pretty picky about when to say if an item is in good condition, and even their C-grade items are usually really good and don't even have any noticeable flaws or signs of wear. So that's nice if you are worried about the condition of an item not being ideal. You'll basically know what it is. They also put the measurements on there, which is useful. If you're shopping from Frill or Mercari, the sellers don't always put the items measurements and stuff in there. You can't really ask, so that's not great. But on Closet Child, the measurements are there, so that's useful. And yeah, things can be pretty cheap. You can find a lot of things. It's sort of harder to find specific pieces, so for Frill and Mercari, it's better to go there for that. But if you just want to add staple items to your wardrobe, like blouses or general cute dresses, or just browse what they have, you can look there, and it's great. Yes, I love Closet Child, both for Lolita clothes and for regular J-fashion. You end up getting really good deals on there if you just search for J-fashion, though. Another source is K-Market. If you're familiar with Lolita fashion, you might know about Lace Market, which is where people go to sell various Lolita clothes that they have secondhand. K-Market is just all the other J fashion equivalent of that, so you'll find a lot of different things. I mostly see Liz Lisa pieces on there, but basically whatever. It's, again, sort of like Depop, but for specifically J fashion, so it's individual sellers selling their things, but you can see the sellers' ratings on there, where they're from. Most people are willing to ship internationally if they're not located in your country, but again, just talk to the seller about that. And nice thing about that is that you can reach out directly to the seller, so you can ask if you have any questions about the item or anything like that. I haven't had any bad experiences shopping on K-Market, so that's nice. Again, it's sort of sometimes harder to find specific older pieces that people sell because K-Market isn't quite as busy as some of the other websites that I've mentioned. However, it's a nice alternative if you just want to browse around, maybe see if you find anything cute that's in your country, so cheaper shipping. Yeah, on K-Market you pay for the items through PayPal, so you'll need to get your account verified on there, I think, and then the seller will send the invoice directly to you. Yeah. Another similar thing to K-Market is just in general Depop and eBay. You can find a lot of things on Depop or eBay. Again, there's sort of less selectivity, so it's just a matter of seeing what people post. You can't really find specific items very easily unless you're particularly lucky. But yeah, you can once again see the sellers, see their reviews, see the condition of the item, and then if you buy something and it's not great, you can still go through PayPal and might not file a dispute, but maybe do talk to the seller first beforehand because disputes are a bit of a hassle. And another nice thing about that is, at least on Depop, you can just search things. People usually tag their posts, their items, with a bunch of different tags, so if you just are interested in a particular style like Himekaji or Fairy K, you can search that and then things will come up from a broad range of brands and just things that might in general work for that style, so that's really useful. And again, you can just search for the brand to find items of that brand. Although you will sometimes find relevant things because people sometimes like to spam tags on things that aren't at all that tag, but that's just a side annoyance. But I found some pretty cute things through Depop before, and so I recommend them. And then the last place that comes to mind is Multipal Store, which is a site that mostly sells a lot of, again, Liz Lisa, but they do have other items. They usually sort of sell more coveted prints and stuff. They can be a bit pricey, but their things are all in really great condition. The prices are a bit more expensive, but that's usually because everything is in really good condition, so you might be expected to pay a bit more for that, but you will be sort of basically guaranteed that the item is in great condition. They do ship worldwide, which is nice. The website is in English, I'm pretty sure. They don't have the biggest selection, and they often sell out pretty quickly, but if you follow their Instagram and stuff, you'll know when they post things, and yeah. So I hope this quick overview of where to buy Japanese brand items was helpful for you. I sort of feel like I was a bit rambly, but I feel like I covered all the points that I meant to, but do let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll be happy to do my best to try to answer, and good luck, happy shopping! As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Bye!